All right, so let's talk about it. I don't always go into the narrative of revenge games. Sometimes I think that they could be good. Sometimes they are actually like some of the best games possible for certain players. It doesn't always work, okay? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Irv Smith this year has clearly not been the answer for us. It's been Tanner Hudson, right? Tanner Hudson's been amazing. Drew Sample, as of late, really came out of nowhere and started playing really great football for us again. And with all that being said, we have a lot of positives to look at when it comes to some of these tight ends we have on our roster. Even Mitchell Wilcox has been pretty good. But Irv Smith has not been that guy at all. This season so far, Irv Smith is, he put up, 97 receiving yards, 1 touchdown, and that was it. And he's only missed a couple games, but overall-wise, he's played 11 of those games. He's only started 6 of them, which is ironic because he was supposed to be the starting tight end for this roster, but he's now getting out-snapped by Drew Sample and by Tanner Hudson. But, this week, we go against Minnesota. And if there's ever a game for Irv Smith to go out there and play great football and perform at the highest level he can, it would be a revenge game, as they would call it. A revenge game versus Minnesota. Now, of course, listen. I don't know how many snaps he's actually going to get, because I feel like if we're going to have our snap counts correctly, we should have, Tanner Hudson in there every play instead of having Irv Smith out there. But, I mean, for the snaps he does get, because last couple of weeks so far, let's go ahead and actually move this over to the right-hand side here. Irv Smith had 8 snaps last week. 23 snaps, 16, 24, 21, 25, 37. And you can see right here, like, since week 9, his snap count has completely plummeted. Why? This right here. Tanner Hudson. Since week 9 was Tanner Hudson's first week, and since that week, Tanner Hudson has out-snapped him. Last week he did not actually, no, wait, my bad. This is right, since week 9, here we go. Since week 9, Tanner Hudson has out-snapped him last week. Did not out-snap him week 13. Almost out-snapped him in week 12. Almost out-snapped him in week 11, 10, and then 9, he actually had it over, and then week 8, obviously, he did not play. So, correction there, he did not out-snap him and any week except for last week. But it's pretty damn close. For a guy who's a starting tight end on the roster to literally be getting only 3 more snaps than Tanner Hudson, that's a problem. Who's a practice squad guy who was elevated because your performance has been pretty bad. 3 week 11, 1 week 10, 9 week 9, ironically enough. So my point is here, Irv Smith has definitely not been that guy. And you go to the 49ers game where he fumbles for halftime, costs us points on that drive, and that game's a lot closer than it needs to be. But this is the game, Irv, where you can redeem yourself. And it's ironically enough not really the game we want you to redeem yourself in. Because if you're going to redeem yourself in any game, can you please do it for the Chiefs or the Browns game? Like, that would be really nice for you to redeem yourself in those games. Not going to lie to you. But, with it being a revenge game narrative, and I'm sure, the news, whatever it's called, announcers guys, they're going to be all over this. Oh, Irv Smith used to play for the Minnesota Vikings. Now playing for the Cincinnati Bengals. This is going to be a reverse game, or revenge game narrative. Yeah, listen. Irv, just do something. Just please do something. Because, Colts game, you had 0 receptions, 0 targets, 0 yards. Jacksonville, you had 0 yards, 0 targets, and 0 receptions. And you haven't had a reception since literally November. Now, again, you might say, well, that's because of the fact that they're not targeting him. I think there's a reason why they don't target him. Jake Browning doesn't go out there and says, hey, I don't want to give the ball to Irv Smith. If Irv Smith is open, he's going to get the ball to Irv Smith. If Tanner Hudson's open, he's going to get the ball. He's going to get the ball to his best players possible. And so far, I mean, I will give, Jake Browning credit here. He's very much good at spreading the ball around, right? We got Trent Irwin who gets some receptions. I mean, you can see Tanner Hudson every single week. 2 receptions, 4 receptions, 4, 6, 4. Like, he's getting the ball. And then you look at Irv Smith and you're like, ooh, whoa, what happened to the desert? I didn't know the desert was going to be shown in this video. But again, revenge game here. This is your chance, Irv, to go out there and show Minnesota why they should not have gotten rid of you. And as long as they don't look at the rest of the year, they might sit here and say, wow, we should get you back after this year. And what I say to that is, Minnesota, let's do an early trade, okay? You trade us Hawkinson, or trade you Irv Smith. And you might say, oh, that's not a fair trade at all. It depends on how good he plays this game. Maybe he's better than... Okay, no, he's not better than Hawkinson. On the real note, though, I just hope he has a good game. I really do. I hope he goes out there and actually performs actually anything. Like, he gets his first catch since November. And sometimes this does fire people up and fire players up to actually try hard. But he's still technically the starter on this roster, which is the craziest thing, too. I feel like they should just say in the roster, like, listen, Irv Smith's the third-string guy. But he's still getting the snap counts, and if it was up to me, I probably would stop giving him snap counts altogether. And probably pick up another tight end. I found this out recently. You know what I found out recently, guys? That Zach from the draft, Zach Kuntz right here, he's a free agent. I didn't realize that. He never made the roster for the Jets. Like, he got cut from the Jets. Why can't we go pick him up? He's on the Jets practice squad. Why don't we just go pick him up? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? He's a third-string tight end. He doesn't work out. Not third-string. He'd be a fourth-string tight end. Like, what's the worst that could happen if we did that? I think, honestly speaking-wise, we should go try to pick him up. Because he's young. Maybe we could develop him in our system. Maybe, he can get some playtime with Jake Browning. Who knows? I mean, he is a vertical threat tight end. How tall is he? He is 6'8", 251 pounds. Why have we not attempted to pick this man up? 6'8"? This man would be a red zone reindeer. He'd be a goal line monster. Out of all the tight ends that we could possibly, potentially have had in that draft, let's get our second chance. I know this video is supposed to be about Irv Smith doing good, but it turned into the fact of, well, no, that's probably not going to happen, so let's go Irv Smith here, and let's go with Zach Kuntz. I don't know. My personal opinion, guys. Tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.